new concept to us. Thank you very much for this introduction and for the invitation. So it's not really a new concept, but it is in line with everything we have heard before the virtual break. So what we heard from the CDFOP and on the career platform. So this is a segment where a key attention will have to be put when we talk about a sustainable work. What we have to make a distinction between quality performance of work and what is a decent performance of work. In practice, these are intertwined. When we talk about a decent work, what we have in mind is decent conditions, climate, health and safety at work, and the fair pay for the work, the working time that and matching between the relationship between work and family. So we have two approaches here. The approach by the workers, where they see as important everything I mentioned so far, but the attention is, of course, on the pay, whether I earn enough or whether my wage or salary is appropriately assessed. And then the work or a product to be performed or manufactured in a quality manner is such that actually is selling itself on the market. But when we talk about the work performed in a high quality manner, my approach is different. So in addition to the decent work, also a sustainable aspect is important. So when we listen to the CDFOP contribution, we heard about the skills, the competencies that are needed for a job to be performed. The problem we are facing in Slovenia is that the employers expect to employ a person who will know everything at a specific moment, and that is that. And the workers expect that they will be able to perform work or a job that is in line with their expectations, but nobody acknowledges a dynamic aspect in the new economic motives, new types of employment, and new types of performing jobs. So this dynamic aspect and the need for additional training, acquiring new skills. International studies show that formal education or training is very important, but it is losing its importance, and that life experience, the skills resulting from the so-called non-formal learning are gaining importance. And on the other hand, we also have problems with lack of motivation. In Slovenia, our educational system is good, one of the best in Europe, but this system applies as long as young people actually are attending or are in schools, but I think that we are in a worse position when we talk about digital skills in general, meaning that at the system level, there is a big mistake that we are not focusing on adults, and it is very important that we prevent unemployment by investing in people who are employed. And if within this high quality performance of work, we need to invest in the people who are employed, namely by anticipating the demand on the labor market. The system that exists in Slovenia is such that, if I put it practically, first the needs are identified within the systems, showing what the employers are looking for. We don't have a body in Slovenia that would be able to forecast the needs on the labor market. And if also the educational policy and the lifelong learning policy would have to ensure the stability of the labor market, because if the work is performed in a high quality manner, this is what ensures the stability of the labor market. So investing in people is what is needed for such stability in order to prevent poverty in the future. Why I've said poverty? We heard that in 2040, every second person will be self-employed. Person employed will be self-employed. I hope this will not be the case. When we talk about self-employed, we talk about business cooperation, so a sole trader, speaking formally, and then a client actually ordering a service. So we need to take a step forward also when we talk about the platform work, not only Uber, but also others, or Volt. In Ljubljana, we don't have that in Maribor. So these are the consequences, developments resulting from the pandemic. So forecasting is definitely needed. And in this segment, it would be very good to take an approach to a so-called green paper on the labor market, at least until 2030. Why? Because in this way, we can adapt, because we would know where we wish to go on the labor market, what jobs are needed, and we would also adjust the programs to that. One of the major problems of employers and employees, and we talk about lifelong learning, we have motivation on the one hand and expectations of employers regarding the needs. So I am very direct, as you know me, and what bothers me, that lifelong learning and acquiring new skills depend depend more or less on projects and EU funds. And if this is so, then I can't say that competencies, new skills, lifelong learning, investing in people to improve their skills, and that they are elements of a sustainable performance of high quality work. If something is depends on the source that is not constant, then it's difficult to talk about that. So I would even wish to have a budget item, specific budget item for that. So the problems are really major here and numerous. About the sustainable, high-quality performance of work, we also need to mention the future. So I mentioned Uber and Walt, all this platform work. So they aren't a problem to me. This is a conventional, traditional relationship between the employer and employee. But when we talk about cross-border platform work, where the client comes from the Czech Republic and the provider is in Slovenia or Italy. So this occurs when we speak about the future of work, and we also need to mention here the sustainable work, and this requires solidarity in the society and social progress, and we can't ensure the sustainability. We will not ensure a fair transition to green and digital. So when we talk about so much about digitalization, but if we look at the recovery and resilience plan, most of the funds are allocated to digitalization of public administration, then a small portion to digitalization in large companies, but practically nothing to SMEs. But SMEs are the ones with more than 90% of employees, and this is, I think, that this weakness that should be eliminated, and that's why I mentioned the so-called green paper for the labor market to deal with the future challenges and many things that are still unclear and require the answers. What I miss here is that also at the level of the state, social partners and other stakeholders that should also be part of this green paper, labor market green paper, should develop a decent work agenda where the right to training, acquiring skills through the career platform, as we heard, should become a fundamental human right and part of the decent work or decent job agenda. So we are talking about a system and prevention of poverty depends on this system, reducing social inclusion. So this is a system where employees will not be only numbers. So what I would say is that, so I've been involved in that for so many years, and I have learned also from you how important life learning is. And I'm sure that without it, it won't go. And the government should play a key role here, in addition to social partners, trade unions, and employers, and within the contracts that apply at the level of the state, they should include the elements of lifelong learning, acquiring skills and competencies, and they should be a driving force to be involved also in identifying the labor market needs and the ways to address all the challenges. So this, the foundation of everything or basis are wages and holiday bonuses and so on, and how to deal with the unemployed, to bring them back to the labor market as soon as possible. I think we need a different approach, namely how to prevent unemployment, but this can be done by being more active when dealing with the people employed. So we can have the models for job sharing. So a person has a regular job, the employer is happy, and then maybe in 6 months or a year, the employer will no longer need that person with that specific skills, but would need additional skills after some time, and maybe the employer can send such a person to training. And in the meantime, the person would receive the wage, or maybe some young people to acquire the necessary skills, and in this way, potential unemployment is prevented. But we are in the situation where we have divisions on the labor market, and young people understand some employment rights differently than somebody who is more than 35. So when I was young, I worked 30 to 35 to 30 or 40 hours a week. So when you are 30 or 35 and you start establishing a family, you have other priorities than only 8-hour working time. And all this also has an impact on the rights and so on. So there are many challenges we are facing, but the fact is that we may miss the train to be able to resolve them in time. So if I go back to what you were discussing, I sincerely think so. So you're dealing with the essence of the sustainable performance of work, so the competencies, lifelong learning. If we aren't developing that and connecting that with all the components, and to look at it in a wider social context, also in the context of sustainable performance of work, we will have big problems. So we are only a minute to noon to do something, so that we do something in lifelong learning and acquiring skills or developing skills. So, not only the employers and employees are involved in that, but also trade unions that have to be responsible for the development of the labor market. And without lifelong learning and skills, acquiring new skills, we can't speak about a high quality social development and a fair digital transition, a fair green transition. All of these requires competencies and skills, and we can't talk about high quality performance of work. And all this has an impact on the quality of life. So what I would wish to invest more in people and their skills, and also that in the educational system there is a course to explain what lifelong learning is, what are skills and competencies, why they are important, because I think it's non-existent. As the previous speaker said, maybe I would reply to a slightly simpler question. Thank you very much for this contribution. I think that you have touched upon the key things that are important not for experts, but all individuals. Thank you for all your cooperation even beyond this event. It is obvious that you are really experienced in this field, and really I have to mention here that in the chat there is another proposal for cooperation with the Ministry of Labor in a career platform. So the forecasting and everything that was mentioned in the first session. So this is very important, and the national expert group for lifelong learning is actually established based on different ministries, and I hope that also the trade unions will get involved in the establishment and implementation of this platform. Mr. Stoyan commented your contribution and agreed that your thoughts are really based on life experience. Yes, you said that I opened up some questions and that I was very direct. So when I prepared for this contribution, I had two options. One was mentioning statistical data that is necessary in this context, but it seems to me that such events as this one should be actually used to talk about the challenges. Otherwise, we won't seek solutions. And it seems to me that different stakeholders should be connected. So when we talk about good performance of works and sustainable work, we need to talk about multiple segments. We talk about the development of the society, and it is really crucial that all the stakeholders are involved, so that we identify challenges and seek solutions which are actually there. I would mention an example of a mistake that was made last year during the pandemic. There was a package, a legislative package adopted, number 5, namely to get 100% salary compensation if you stayed at home, but you actually attended some training. But the result was 0 because the employees rather decided to get 80% of salary, and the employers didn't send the employees to any training. So what was missing there was promotion. And today people still think that it is bad if a person aged 50 joins a training on the use of some software tool, or if an individual aged 60 starts or joins a training on Excel. So this is not only the problem of trade unions, employers, or you or the government. I think that we haven't done enough as regards promotion. This is why I mentioned that perhaps we should include learning about lifelong learning and acquisition of skills also in primary schools. So what the students in the first year of the secondary school are learning now will be outdated in 4 years. There are some vocations, such as electrician and so on, are such that won't be easily replaced. Everything else can be replaced, such as digital and so on. So it is really crucial to invest in that. So if I was too direct, I apologize. But it is important that we try to find appropriate solutions, including the solution regarding how to extend the period of service, so that you prolong it, and that you are compensated for that. And in spite of our small size, we can find solutions. Thank you very much.